All right, I got a bit of a long one for you guys. So, Saintontas and Skull CJ have been beefing for quite a bit now. I'm sure some of you have seen that. I even made a video, not really covering it, but kind of talking about it. And we have Pixel Tree here who has some commentary on it. He has his opinions about what's going on. And, I'm looking for perspective to see if my opinion right now, which is more or less like, it ain't really that deep. That's my opinion right now. But maybe it is. So let's see what he has to say.
Oh, Saintontas, Saintontas, Saintontas. What is it to say? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Okay, so already he's saying Saintontas is on the wrong completely.
But to be fair, I don't think you were ever the hero, and people who aren't dented probably always saw you as the villain. And what has happened recently has just been something to behold. The content creator who has built a career off attacking people repeatedly to the point some could consider harassment is now pulling the bullying slash harassment card, which is actually wild to see. Again,
I did see a clip where he was saying that Skull CJ was like sexually harassing him in a gay manner or something like that. I don't know too much about it, but I saw that clip.
I've got no personal beef with Saint as a human being, but as a content creator, I do believe he has been a massive detriment, specifically to the Wuthering Wave space and to the gacha conversations in general. This is a guy who made a video to recap his 1v9s, his 1v4s against multiple content creators through the year of 2025. This is somebody who has become a digital bully, which it's clear to see now in his reactions to the recent Skull CJ video.
I'm a little uninformed. I wasn't really paying attention to any of the drama stuff that was going on in 25. So, a little uninformed. That's why, again, my opinion is not really that strong. I don't really have any stake in it. Like Saint Tontas's history for me is kind of like I remember when he started off and he was simply just the snowman and doing guides, quite literally. That's all he did. I saw his videos back then because that's when I was playing Wuthering Waves quite a bit, unemployed life, and his guides are pretty good. So I was watching him, and then I remember when he was getting called a shield and stuff, and he started fighting back. That was when like his first drama arc kind of started, and I was kind of bored with that, so I didn't watch him that much. I might pop in for a guide here and there, and here I am right now, trying to catch up on what's going on.
Which you're going to get into some clips here. This is a person who sadly looks like they was probably bullied when they were younger and has now become the thing they hated. And I believe this is definitely a bit of a small man syndrome, a Napoleon complex in an attempt to make themselves feel better in the way they deal with content and other human beings on this platform. This is hilarious, if you ask me. It's actually hilarious. This is something I've been watching from the sidelines and not actually bothered to be involved with because it doesn't involve me. But when I step in, just like the Legions video, it's one thing when you can dish it out, but when you can't take it, that's when I have to say, we're being a bit of a bitch now.
Oh yeah, here's the thing, man. If you're gonna be somebody who likes attacking people and stuff like that, and you're cool with that, you think that's fine to do, you gotta be okay when they shoot it back at you. I'm 100% with that. I do not like rules for thee, but not for me. Nobody likes it. It's a bad mentality. Same thing I would say to comedians too. There's a lot of comedians who would joke on people, put them through the ringer. The second it's turned on them, they're hurt. Insanity.
So recently, Skull CJ has been going in hard on Saintontas, and I mean hard. The dude's been crass, but at the end of the day, Saintontas is crass as well when it suits him. From insinuations about people.
Dude, that thumbnail is wild. That thumbnail is insane, man. Oh my god, I could see why that triggered Saintontas, because holy cow.
Sexual proclivity and illegal sexual proclivities as well to insulting people about their looks and making jokes that we all would say that's not a good thing to do, right? His jokes are the jokes of 15-year-old edgelords on Call of Duty back in the day, right? But this is a grown-ass man, and then he hides behind the, I never inferred anything, I never insinuated anything, you were the ones who insinuated.
Oh, I think he's talking about the what's that guy's name? The genocide situation back with Rochia. I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, that was really bad. Saintontas shouldn't have done that, and then he shouldn't have lied about insinuating what he did. Right? If you're gonna say something like that, you gotta run with it. That's my opinion, though.
Everything, which this is a perfect example here before we get into the whole situation on how he's reacting to Skull CJ. But this is a perfect example of what Saintontas has done before without any need to, and then
All right, let's read this. I remember Maggie or Mikey. I remember her downfall too. So let's see what they said. It's funny how parts of Te community says Saint Tontas does not represent them, or okay, here's her response to whatever that guy said. The second the put his video as number one for that one contest said it all. That's the type of content they want to see. And yes, the number one for the current one has a lot of views, but the content is such a nothing burger. It's literally okay. I'm trying to make out what she's trying to say here. The second the put his video or they, so I guess some type of contest they did for some Wuthering Waves thing, and she's complaining about it. Maybe she's saying it's biased or something like that.
Hides behind the idea of being bullied and sexually harassed as well. But just look at this here from his apology, or his so-called apology towards Genocide when he got banned on Twitch.
Because she's a childlike VTuber, and Rosia is a childlike character. And he has no other S6 characters. And so clearly he put a lot more resources and expenditures into her. And so I just made a joke about it. Because one's a kid, childlike character, and the other's a childlike character. And people are saying that I'm the worst person ever for doing that.
Well, here's my opinion. I don't really care if he makes jokes like that. It's fine in my opinion. But if you get called out on it, like, hey, what were you insinuating there? And you're like, oh, what? I wasn't trying to say anything. I was just pointing out what was in my face, what was in my eyes. Like, that's weird, dude. Like, if you're insinuating some type of PDF activity as a joke, just run with it. Be like, yeah, I was making that joke. And if you found it to be not that great, you can either apologize or be like, look, I thought it was funny. You know, nobody likes the weird lying game. Just run with it, dude.
And you want to know what I have to say about that? All I did was compare Maggie, a childlike character, to Rosia, another childlike character. And if you're going ahead and you're the individual that's trying to go to the next level with that, if you're trying to imply that there's a deeper meaning to that, all I said is he's a fan of Maggie and he's a fan of Rosia. That's it. And if you...
Do you see what I'm saying here? The attempted gaslighting.
Yeah, that's cap. He's lying, dude.
After making a joke like that, the implication is clear to see. Otherwise, the joke has no merit. You don't make a joke like that without there being an inference to something. There's a reason for the punchline, and the punchline is, well, he likes this childlike thing and he likes this childlike thing. What could that mean? It's obvious what you were trying to do there. It's a crass, kind of disgusting joke towards a person. Like, jokes are jokes at the end of the day, but when you start saying this about men, this is one of those things that, in my opinion, you just don't do. And then to hide behind well, I just made a joke, I didn't even infer that.
Well, I think his opinion, Pixel Trees, is fair. Like, if you're saying you shouldn't do that, that's fine. I can see why somebody would say that. I kind of just grew up with the edgy side of the internet as a kid, so for me, it's kind of like, it's just a thing. Dudes say to joke at each other, pick fun. But it's one thing to say it as a joke, and it's another thing to mean it, right? If somebody means that about somebody without any substantial evidence, that is insane, and they shouldn't do that. But as a joke, like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, in my opinion.
Was the joke. If you did, you're the one with the problem, which it's just so shameless and shady, if you ask me. But let's get back to the CJ stuff, because this is hilarious. So CJ's been going in hard on this guy, and it appears that CJ is the kryptonite to Saintontas because he refuses to acknowledge the videos or react to them, because he has come with quite a lot of glue. Right, I talked about CJ being crass, Saint's crass, right? Saint comes with fire when it comes to other content creators. It's just that this time, Skull CJ's turned up with an M1 Abrams tank, and Saint does not know what to do about it. So just check this out as well here, because to me, this is where this guy's at now. This is the guy who took on all these CCs and boasted about potentially pushing people out of the space because he's that much of a god dog, and he believes that anybody who comes for him will get it. But apparently, when it comes to Skull CJ, it's not quite the case.
Making this for the love of the game. To not get monetized on them makes
Which is quite funny,
$0
actually.
For the love of
CJ is doing this monetization.
So he refuses to watch CJ's videos. I feel like that's pretty telling for something, right? Maybe he's afraid of whatever CJ said in the videos. Maybe he knows some of the criticism is valid and he doesn't want to address it. Or it could just be he doesn't like the guy so much he refuses to watch it. But at the same time, I do remember when Saintontas used to go on rants for like an hour about some like Reddit post or something. Like he would sit there and discuss a single Reddit post or Reddit thread for an hour in his stream and pretty much like attack the whole thing. And he has no problem doing that. So what is the actual reason behind why he will not cover Skull CJ's videos? I mean, I don't know. Saintontas is doing it with the answers, right?
Free, which makes it even better. Like, dude's not even trying to farm for cash. He's just farming for the fucking banter, and I love it.
the game, and also just to get struck later on, because this is literally, it's literally harassment. So
It's harassment.
based off of this,
Remember that, before we get to that, it's harassment, right? It's harassment. Maggie videos, it's harassment. Oh,
Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4.
all she had the thing of doing was saying she wasn't a fan of Saint in private, right? And maybe got some calculations a little bit incorrect. And this
Yeah, I remember that. She made some incorrect calculations and people exposed her and she doesn't like Saintontas. That was about it, right? And then she got freaking deleted off the internet because of that. She was annihilated. Well, I mean, what does Saintontas consider harassment at that point then, right?
dude went after her. One of the most, like, inoffensive people in the space, but she just happened to commit the crime of saying, yeah, that guy, fuck that guy. But he couldn't handle that. Again, this is what I say. It seems like the ego of somebody who probably got bullied back in the day, which is sad, right? But this is how a person with a fragile ego would react. You know, this is harassment. Once again, another content creator. You can say what you like about Pokey, but the levels that Saintontas went when it came to Mr. Pokey was...
Yeah, dude, he was talking about Mr. Pokey for months, really. And now they were going back and forth for sure. But, you know, what does constitute as harassment in Saintontas' eyes then? Is it one-sided? Is that maybe why it doesn't count when he does it to Mr. Pokey? Or is it the type of speech that is used against another person? What exactly does he mean by harassment by Skull CJ's videos?
It's insane. And that's not even mentioning Ryuku Sensei, another guy who the dude went after repeatedly because they had a bit of a personal
I don't know much about this at all. Can't really talk about it.
issue. It couldn't be left at 1 or 2 videos. It had to be repeated because this is the dude's MO. But now he's talking about harassment, which is...
I am asking all of you to, like, this is not even like an ask for like a mass report. This is literally like report it for, honestly, I don't even know. Like, could you, I feel like...
And now we've got the dudes asking for people to report the channel and saying he's going to report the channel himself. He does make sure to say this is not a mass report here, but he almost says it later on and catches himself when he actually says the word mass report the channel.
Well, but what's the difference, right? I mean, if you say, let's say you have a completely 1000% accurate, valid reason for reporting somebody's content and telling your fans to do the same thing. Let's just pick one right here on the screen, right? Harmful or dangerous acts. And you say, let's mass report that. Is that a bad thing? Like, is mass reporting inherently bad? I don't really think so. Now, it might break some type of term of service, but I think YouTube wouldn't care if you're reporting somebody, mass reporting somebody, excuse me, for harmful or dangerous acts. Like, I think YouTube would appreciate that. Like, thanks for letting us know somebody's doing this on our platform. You know, shake your hand, say goodbye. So why is he trying to distinguish between mass reporting and some type of other like justified reporting? I think it's all the same. I don't think mass reporting is inherently negative. I think the reason behind you doing it is what's wrong. Now he could just be trying to avoid some type of YouTube backlash from the actual platform, which is, you know, fair because one strike on your channel and that hurts, man. That hurts deeply.
This is pathetic, if you ask me. I wouldn't judge Saint for doing this if he just stayed in his lane and was here just making content, right? Just doing his thing, making content, and all of a sudden, out of the woodwork comes along big bad Skull CJ in an attempt to destroy his brand, his reputation. That's not the case, is it? This is a guy who has built his entire career off being the Gacha Spaces version of Tecton, but a worse, poor facsimile. You know, somebody who just constantly is chomping at the bit to shit on people.
I think his rise was kind of, I don't think he ever intended to really be somebody who initiates or even participates in any type of drama or insults towards other creators. It was more of that. What I remember, I mean, this is like 2 years back, right? I remember, it could be foggy, that he was making his guide videos and all of a sudden he had some much smaller creators, like Wuwa creators at the time. You know, everybody was competing for that big spot, right? To be the Saintontas. Saintontas wasn't there yet, but to be the Wuthering Waves guy. And they were criticizing him for whatever. I don't remember if it was valid or not. And he was in a position where he was like, well, I have to defend myself. And there's people outside of Wuthering Waves as well, right? Like other gacha communities who were like, hey, we don't like that game and we feel like you glaze it too much. He had to defend against that. All of a sudden, all that experience that he built up of just fighting back and successfully taking down some attacks, really, now he was ready to be able to dish it out on other people, right? He has that experience. He knows what to say, what not to say, how to formulate his opinions and arguments. Yeah, man. And he probably saw the views on that too. He probably got more views than his typical guide for Cardathea or something, right? That's what I think happened. I have to go back and look. I do remember that one time when they were calling it a mask slip and he was like crashing out on stream about some other small creator and people were like, whoa, this is not the friendly snowman I know. I remember that though. That was kind of funny.
Insulting people like Rin's looks. I said this before. You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. You know, this is a guy who has built his entire persona on, well, I'm the guy that comes to deal with the guys, and I'll deal with them all at the same time. I'll 1v4, I'll 1v9, but for some reason, just because Skull CJ is coming with a little bit of fire, a lot of fire actually, but if you actually watch some of the videos, there's some genuine points that he actually catches Saint on, and it looks like Saint has no ability to come back at them, because this is a guy that said, you know, bring your mans, I'll deal with them.
I think the most honorable thing you can do in a situation where somebody's criticizing you, and you're also talking about the individual, you're not ignoring it, he's clearly not ignoring Skull CJ, is to simply look at the points that they made were 100,000% correct and just good criticism towards you and say, you know what, I messed up there. There is no audience in the world who would be like, you were so soft. You admitted being wrong about something. People respect people who are wrong about stuff and say like, yeah, you know, I didn't see that at first, but I can see my mistake and I'm sorry. People respect that. But pretending that it didn't happen or, you know, it wasn't what you think and stuff like that, people see it. People see like the, I want to say snake behavior, but the sliminess of it, right? The I'm gonna try to wiggle out of this little crack that I made for myself. I mean, you can see the same thing with the whole Lucari situation, right? Or even the CC drama. That was insane. I almost made a video on that, but I saw so many videos coming out, and I was like, they got the point across. I don't need to say anything about it. But yeah, that was insane from Marvel Rivals. Holy cow. W. Kingsman.
I'm on the corner. Come see me. Come see me. But when somebody actually comes to see him, all of a sudden now it's harassment, it's bullying, it's sexual harassment. This is sad to see. If you're a fan of Saint, surely this has got you questioning the big bad man himself. Like, this is really sad.
Do like the top 4.
Right? We've got him here saying this. Right? Now, just listen to this as well. This is what I talk about with Saint being a child in his humour, right? Not only insinuating that people might have sexual proclivities towards minors, right? We've also got him saying stuff like this. It's just so weird. It's just so weird for a grown man to say these sort of things.
Yeah, he's just super gay. That's really uncomfortable. Guys, you don't know how uncomfortable it is to get propositioned by men until you get propositioned by multiple gay men repeatedly over the course of your life.
What? Where is Saint hanging out? And what?
I mean, if he finds this to be uncomfortable, I guess. I'm not gonna like freak out over there, like, what are you saying? Saintontas, weird. Whatever, it's fine if he's uncomfortable.
What is Saint doing to make multiple gay men start propositioning him, right? You know, they talk about things like a gaydar. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe they're seeing something. But like the idea that like he's so insulting towards using the term gay. Like I say, that's like what people used to do back in the day. Oh, you're just gay, man. No, that's gay, man. It's just such a weird way for a grown man to act about somebody who's just like putting him on blast, talking about that he's maliciously gay, and then going into his trauma.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Maliciously gay. That was the word he said. He was getting harassed by someone trying to be maliciously gay towards him. That's what it was.
About being propositioned by multiple gay men over the years. It's almost like that saying about though. I think they doth protest too much or something along those lines. It's odd.
That has happened to me on numerous occasions, but I am super straight, and it's super bad.
Yeah. I think anybody who says I'm super straight, man, trust me.
Yo, I remember that arc when they came up with that phrase, bro, super straight. It is weird to hear it getting used in 2026. What, that word came out like what? 2021? Something like that? Saintontas here. I'm super straight, guys. I'm so super straight that when CJ makes a thumbnail making fun of me about sucking off Wuthering Waves, it's just really harming my super straight attitude, my super straight aura. And really, what I think about that happening is we need to do something about it. We need to report him for attacking me being super straight. Like, why would you even dare to attack my sexuality? I can't handle it. You're making me uncomfortable. Report him! But don't mass report, no. No, don't mass report. That's bad. Alright guys, that's bad. Basically, that's what's happening.
Like, I get propositioned by gay men a lot. I'm super straight now. And until you get there, you wouldn't understand my trauma with this situation. It's such odd energy. It's such odd energy. And not to even mention that this is a guy, like, as CJ said here, right? You know, in this video, like, dude, actually, I think, where is he? Where is it actually? This is he. This is he. In his 2025 video. Like, check this out. This is weird. Like, what is this doing? Dude doing? And he talks about harassment. Like, why would you even make something like this or allow your editors to make something like this? Actually insane.
I never gave any of these individuals any reason to attack me. They
definitely
all
not.
went for it.
Definitely not.
Unprompted, out of nowhere, on their own. All of it. All on their own. And you...
I'm going to be honest, there were definitely some situations where Saintontas was getting attacked for existing, for just being the Wuthering Waves guy. That is 1000% true, and anybody who denies that they're lying. It definitely happened. But that doesn't mean that you haven't been the first to initiate ever. I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, the Maggie situation where he criticized her about her little wrong calculations, that's fair, right? If you want to criticize somebody being wrong objectively on calculation, that's fine. But come on, man. Like, you've been an initiator before.
Want to know what the best thing is? This isn't even the full list. There's still more people.
Like, what is this? Like, shout out to CJ for putting this stuff on, and some people as well linking me stuff as well, because having to go through Saint's content is kind of painful, right? What the fuck is this? Like, what is dude insinuating it again? What dude will do is he'll do this gaslighting of, you're the one doing that. I'm just putting the stuff out here. But like, he says the jokes, but jokes have to have a punchline. You can't just have no inference. You have to nudge the person towards it. Now, sometimes jokes can be set up of the, I never said that, but at the same time, there's an inference there. So to pretend that people are insane for thinking it, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're going to use satire to insult somebody, don't lie about it. I mean, I've said it before in the video, but come on, man. Everybody knew what type of joke he was trying to make about Genizat. Some people found it funny, some people didn't. That should be the end of it. It's not... I don't know, man. Some people get backlash and they just turn into like a freaking octopus. They got a tentacle here, a tentacle there. They're all over the place. Instead of just being a straight line about what they mean and what they're trying to say. You gotta be all wiggly and jiggly like Squidward. Pause. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
And this is a problem that's happened multiple times now with Saintontas in the space, and it's why he has become a bit of a stain on the space. I'm cool with people going at each other, people having a bit of CC beef and all that sort of stuff. It's not something I usually dabble in. A couple of times I've spoke about stuff like this on my channel. The only time I've really specifically gone after
if you look at my channel, I don't know if my channel, I got like 19 videos out right now. Do I have beef on it? I'm trying to think about what I posted. Reactions, a lot of reactions, gameplay, and this. This is the only beef I've done so far. Unless you want to consider like me talking about Enfield being bad, or some people saying it's bad a beef, then yeah, that too. But having a beef with a company and a beef with a the creators were kind of calling each other out, and it's kind of a beef. So 2. So far, it's 2 out of like, what, 19 or 20 videos? That ain't bad.
CC was Legion's Gaming, but the dude spent 44 minutes shitting on me, and then did something just like what Saint has done. The second other people started shitting on him, he folded like a cheap lawn chair, and now we've got Saint doing something similar. I probably would have just watched this from the sidelines, if I'm honest, but it's just so insane to me. I knew Saint was a lot of things, right? As I say, as a person, I think less of him after seeing some of these clips. Like this Epstein clip is crazy when you know what's happened with the whole Epstein situation. Like, that to me, that ain't jokes. That's fucked up to even.
Yeah, that's fair. Isn't Skull making the Epstein jokes? It's him, right? Again, I don't care. I grew up with the edgy side of the internet. Like, you're making Epstein jokes. It's a little wild, but it is what it is. Like, you know, everybody has different humor. Like, if you make it clear that it's satire, it's not the worst thing in the world, because you're not actually calling somebody that thing you're insinuating. It's more of just like, hey, ha 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 ha, you're this. So I don't really have the biggest issue with it. But Pixel Tree having a problem with it, totally valid. I can see why. Let's continue.
Add a list of CCs that you've been blasting and then put that in there. That's fucked up. That's genuinely fucked up. And you can't sit on your high horse claiming that you're getting harassed when you're putting out content like this. Because to me, I think this is kind of sick, because there's genuine real victims. And in that clip as well, there's the dude with a kid, and like, who knows the little what's it's there of terrible things that have happened, right? Like, fucked up beyond belief, if you ask me. To sit here and claim harassment and tell his viewers to go and report the channel is pathetic, if you ask me. Genuinely pathetic. So all I'm gonna say is shout out to CJ for doing this. If I'm honest, again, prior to this, I've got no beef with Saint anyway, right? Apart from that, like Epstein stuff and insinuating stuff about genocide, those sort of things make me do question.
Wait. He was showing what? Oh, no. That was Saintontas with the first ever Epstein insinuation. Yeah, dude, at that point you can't be mad when Skull CJ does it to you. What? Dang, dude. God, this is a bad situation to be in if you're Saintontas. Jesus. Come on, man. Just take the jokes, walk it off, laugh it off if you think it's funny, call it a day, man. Don't make it a thing. I get that you're annoyed with Skull CJ, but don't make this any worse than it has to be.
Somebody as a person, because it's like, bro, that's real shitty. You don't fucking do that stuff, right? You don't have jokes, poke fun. If there's a reason to say something like that about somebody, have at it. But when there's none, just because you don't like the person, because you've got a little tiny ego that's super fragile, you know, you've got a Napoleon complex and you feel like you've got to digitally bully people now because you probably didn't have the best upbringing. You know, he likes to go around calling people nerds, but dude, was it high elo league player? Like, you can't go around calling people nerds when you're a high elo league player. It just doesn't cut it right. We're all nerds in this space, so stop with that.
Hold on. Listen to this, right? If I get legend rank in Street Fighter 6, I absolutely am not a nerd. But if you get Grandmaster or whatever the case they got, Diamond, Emerald, whatever they got in freaking League of Legends, you're a nerd. Why? Because I'm in a superior place. I'm playing the superior game. The anti-nerd game, okay? A game made for men. That's how they think when they act that way, okay? Yeah, it's all nerd stuff. We're all nerds. Who cares? I like being a nerd. Be proud of it.
Bullshit as well. But like, as I say, for somebody who has done that, it makes me think, yeah, you know what? That's not a great character trait, right? At all. And then to do this, to then flip it when somebody uses the same methods that you use, but actually has some evidence to back it up and isn't just coming at you for no reason. He's actually returning fire. They're firing shots across your bow. All of a sudden, all right then, I need you guys to back me up. Guys, I need you guys to back me up.
When super gay shit like this keeps fucking happening to me. Because what the fuck is this dude posting this shit and then...
Like, this stuff is just crazy.
Right, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing
it's just
wrong
crazy
with that.
to me.
Nothing wrong with
the
that.
way, like, the dude is in this video, like, almost, like, it's like dude is genuinely shook. He does not know how to deal with CJ. And it's actually quite funny to see.
Well, what I think is happening is he definitely watches the videos CJ puts out. That's for sure. It's not, like, no doubt in my mind that he does that. He's probably seeing genuine criticism, so he doesn't want to comment on it. However, what he's also seeing is Skull CJ is growing. Now, if you don't know a little bit about Skull CJ, he actually had another channel before this one, and I was watching that channel. He was a big fan of Calcharo. So am I. Calcharo's the GOAT. And his channel ended up getting hacked and taken down, and he was just gone for a while. And then I remember that his comeback video, he was like, you know, I'm a little bit demotivated, but, you know, I'm giving YouTube a chance again. And he's putting in some numbers. Almost 8,000 views right there. Look at his Enfield video, 10K, 8.7K on Saintontas. Just looking at this right now. His doing out of this video, you know, not as high as it is for his Enfield or Saintontas criticisms, but still, that's a decent number, right? 2.7K, that's decent. That's way amazing for me, okay? That's awesome if I get numbers like that. My highest video right now is like, what, 300? I got a lot of work to do before I, you know, even can dream of hitting these guys' levels of YouTube success.
Because of a dude who, you know, was bragged about how he can deal with anybody in this space. Like I said, bring your mans. And then CJ turned up and was like, all right, let's go. Saint was like, okay, I'm going to need you to report this guy. We need him out in the community, you know? And this isn't the first time that he's tried to excommunicate people. He tried it with Meigi. He tried it with Mr. Polky. He tried it with Ryuku-sensei. This is a guy who spent hours upon hours shitting on people. This is a guy who spent...
Look at the views on that, too. 47,000 on his most popular Ryuku-sensei video. God. you got to think about it in the context of the Wuthering Waves space. I don't think Wuthering Waves creators typically get views in that number outside of like a guide video. But that's basically the entire active community saw that video. I haven't watched it. Remember, I didn't keep up with that situation. I didn't really care. But yeah, dude, that does numbers to you. It really does. Negative feedback from another creator can hurt a lot. I mean, we'll see if I ever get it right. We'll see how much it hurts me. Maybe 10 years down the line when I'm a grandpa. Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I don't know what to do, though. You know, I think that Saint sees the power that he had over other people, and he doesn't want anybody having that over him. Right? He sees what he did to Ryuku Sensei, right? He almost killed him out of the freaking creator space, I guess. And he's like, yeah, I don't want that happening to me. I mean, he did delete Maggie, right? She's gone into the ether, never coming back, deleted. And he's like, he sees Go CJ growing. He's creeping up on him, and he's like, we got to eliminate this. Report, report, report. My freaking warriors, report. It's wartime. That's what it looks like from my perspective right now.
6 hours shitting on a content creator for their B-roll in a video. That was the moment that we really realised, okay, something a bit off about this guy, right? But it was, all right, okay, the dude just really likes Wuthering Waves. He's really being defensive of the game, which is a bit sad, but whatever. The descendancy, should I say, into the descent into what he's become recently. Like, it's almost been a proper mask. Well, the mask's been off for a while, but it slipped. The mask totally fell onto the floor now with the recent videos. And I think Enfield's been the thing that's kind of broke the last straw to break the camel's back. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
Yeah, Saintontas does not like that game. Saint really doesn't like it at all, which is fine. But I feel like, I remember I saw some video where people were talking about why they like the game. And Saint's response was something along the lines of, how could you guys like this? You're ignoring this. You haven't played enough. You haven't done this yet. You haven't done that yet. How can you even say the 1.0 experience is good? Well, and I saw that, I thought, you know, people play games for different reasons. And some games have multiple different avenues of enjoyment. So somebody turns on Enfield and they're like, I'm just playing for the factories, and maybe I might roll on a character or two every couple of months just to see if I get them. And they're like, yeah, that's enough for me. I'm having a great time. That's perfectly valid, and you deserve no criticism for that. Just like if somebody plays Wuthering Waves and they're like, yeah, you know, I don't really enjoy the exploration, I don't really enjoy the story, but I like doing the hologram battles. That's why I play. Perfectly reasonable and valid. And some people play for all aspects. Some people play Wuthering Waves for, you know, traversal, story, combat, characters, all of it. And, you know, I think that's what Saintontas has to understand, because I think he plays for endgame, straight up. Endgame and new characters. That's what he plays for, that's what he likes, and that's cool. And he doesn't like the endgame of Enfield, so he doesn't like the game, naturally. It's pretty clear-cut and simple.
But yeah, all I've got to say about this is quite pathetic, if you ask me. If you're going to live by the sword, you better be prepared to die by the sword. But bro don't want that. Bro wants to use protections, use arguments around it. Well, if this was happening to a girl, you know, this dude spent multiple videos going after a really inoffensive, cute little gremlin character girl, right? Who just does calculations and nerds out about rotations in a video game. And just because she had the balls to say, I'm not a fan of this guy, the dude went after her hard, you know? Calling her a rat, calling her all these names, you know? Constantly making jokes about Ryuku being gay. And he clearly didn't like it, right? But all of a sudden, he doesn't like...
Wait, he made jokes about Ryuku being gay? Dude, like... Again, I didn't see the situation, I'll have to confirm it myself, but if it's true, come on, Saint. Come on. CJ's making a couple gay jokes towards you. It's not that deep. Come on, man. Just ignore him. If you don't like him, just ignore him. You don't have to force yourself to talk about him. All right, go back to doing whatever you usually do. Talk about Enfield, talk about Wuthering Waves, talk about whatever other game you want to talk about, and do your thing, man.
This sort of energy, and now it needs to be stopped. But it's okay when he infers about people being sexual criminals, when he infers about people being gay, when he infers that people are liars and racists and all of these different things he's done over the time, when he makes statements about getting saying something about Harry Carter, when inferring that he's going to get an AR-15 and take it to a public place, and then attempting the terrible rollback of, well, I was talking about a gun range. Pathetic. And I honestly think the dude has single-handedly in the EN space made the Wuthering Wave space look terrible. And the quicker the space wakes up to that, the better, right? I've had my opposition towards the Wuthering Wave space, right? But this has been the flag bearer.
One thing that is true, call him the flag bearer. Yeah, he is the face of the content creation community for WUA. Saintontas is your Wuthering Waves guy. And he has put himself in a position where he is the main representatives, right? When you think of somebody who plays that game, you think of him. Like, that's the face that comes up. It's No Man himself. So there's some responsibility that comes with that. Straight up. Like, you have a responsibility to try to present yourself in a manner that isn't antagonistic towards the general community's wanting, how they want to be perceived, how they actually are. Yeah, like, you're him. You are the community. So you do have to take a little bit of responsibility on that. And I know, I think he's been doing an okay job at that. I mean, again, he had a rough, I guess, entry into content creation. I'm giving him some sympathy here, because if I was getting attacked left and right for just, for the most part, making guides, I would feel pretty bad. Really bad, actually. And, you know, Tectone helped put him in a position where he can defend himself. And after that, he's like, well, now I got the blades. I know how to wield them. It's your turn. Which is kind of ironic, because he did come after Maggie for just making a guide, and the guide was incorrect, which rightfully so, he called it out, and she doesn't like Saintontas. I mean, somebody doesn't like me, cool. I'm not gonna be bothered by it that much. It's alright. So yeah, it wasn't that deep. He didn't have to dig her grave, but at the same time, she was a little wrong in that situation. So yeah, let's finish out this video.
Error for the space. Again, I can separate YouTube from people, right? But when you're making Epstein jokes, when you're making, you know, inferences about people's attraction and stuff like that, those sort of jokes, that ain't cool, right? That ain't cool. So yeah, I think you need to fix up, Saint. I think you're gonna start playing with fire, man. You gotta be ready to get burnt. I think you got fucking burnt hard, and I must admit, it's actually quite enjoyable to witness. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think down below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out Pixel Tree's channel. Give him a like. All I gotta say is, really, I think Saintontas just has to be ready to take it, bro. Take a hit, get up, walk back, keep going. It's not hard, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in that position. I don't really have any much more advice than that. Like, you know, he's doing the same things that he's criticizing Skull CJ for. So what could I possibly say in his defense besides he had a rough entry into content creation? Anyways, that's pretty much all I gotta say. What do you guys think about this? If anybody's watching, leave a comment. Leave a comment. I'll respond to it. I'll read it. Let me know, man. And as always, have a good rest of your day.